Nintendo Unleashed here. We're the biggest, bestest Nintendo podcast
Ever.
ever. This week, we have some great news, like pretty much leaks. You know,
Yeah. Just League City.
we're in Pokemon release time again, I guess, because even though none of the leaks are Pokemon related, but
Right.
there's also a Pokemon update.
Yeah. Pretty big Pokemon Go update, actually. Probably the biggest one, period.
And I'm Connor, and I'm here with Noah.
Hey, friends.
And,
Sweet dreams.
That was a pretty quality intro.
Mhm.
So we're just going to go straight into what we're playing. Noah, what
Nice.
did you play?
Ooh, what did I play? Did I play anything this week? Did I play a single video game? I don't think I played a single video game this week.
Whoa.
Not even last weekend. Because I didn't go to a friend's house. I don't think I touched a video game this whole week. It's a little bit surreal. It's
Whoa.
unfortunate, but yeah. I might have picked up Fire Emblem Heroes at some point, but I haven't spent a collective 30 minutes playing games in the past week. Unfortunately, wish I had more to say about that. On the bright side, I've been doing a lot of learning, so that's good.
Woo,
Watching a lot of Switch videos. So, yeah, that's it for me. You?
Oh, well, I've been playing the usual Love Live and Fire Emblem Heroes and Lego Dimensions. And I think I keep forgetting to mention this, but a while, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I think, it was right after Bank updated, so whenever that was, I started a challenge. Well, my brother and I started challenge runs of Pokemon Sun and Moon, where we picked each other's teams basically from, because I have everything, so we just bred 6 eggs basically for the other one. So I've almost beat that run. I beat the first 2 Elite Four members last night, so hype for that.
Nice.
And I was bored and did a 100 Mario challenge in Mario Maker.
Good
But,
one.
I mean, that's still hype, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, to go into this week's Nintendo download, it is pretty sparse. Though there might be a few things definitely worth looking into. On the 3DS eShop, Tank Troopers is an $8 download. This is a cartoonish tank battle style game with, I believe, both single player and multiplayer stuff. Unfortunately, there's no online multiplayer, it would appear, which we're in 2017. So unless you have 5 other friends who plan on buying this game, who you know personally, I don't know. I mean, maybe the single player is really good, but on Wii U, there's an indie puzzle game called Back to Bed, which I've played a little bit of that on iOS, and it's a cool game. If you're familiar with Monument Valley, it's kind of similar to that. 2 games from RC Maniacs this week. On the Wii U Virtual Console, Ogre Battle 64, which I've heard very good things about, but I've never touched an Ogre Battle game, but one of people's favorites. And quite a few new Zelda things on my Nintendo, as well as some Breath of the Wild themes, which look pretty awesome. So, pick of the week, it's tough.
You have to go with Ogre Battle. Never played it, but I've heard good things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a tactical RPG. So if you like if you like tactical RPGs, maybe check that out. If you're a fan of the series, then yeah, I guess it's kind of a no-brainer. But again, kind of a sparse-ish week. Of course, that's because we're leading up to the Switch launch on March 3rd, which hopefully will have a big Nintendo download, So far, we know of Tomorrow Corporation. We don't know if Snipper Clips' launch. I really hope so. We'll see.
Is I Am Setsuna physical
Oh
in
yeah.
North America?
I actually, I'm actually not sure. I know it's getting a physical release, but I don't know if it's in North America.
Because I've only seen that mentioned in Japan.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. But regardless, you'll be able to get your hands on that download in North America. Physical, we're not sure, but hey. So anyway, our first topic this week, the Splatoon Global Test Fire was announced. This personally surprised me just because the system it's on isn't even out yet. It's like announcing a demo for a system that isn't out yet. This will be happening in late March on the 24th through the 26th. That's a Friday through Sunday. And there are 6 scheduled play times, and it's the same deal as the original where it's just during those times that you can play.
They're all about an hour long.
Yeah.
59 minutes to be exact.
Mm-hmm. And they're all spread out, I think, pretty well.
Well, there's just basically 3 time slots that are open twice throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. I wish they, because like there's 4 a.m. to 4:59 a.m., 12
Pacific.
to 12:59 p.m., and yeah, these are all Pacific, and 8 to 8:59 p.m. So each of those repeats twice some point through the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish they maybe like on the Saturday instead of 12 to 12:59 did like 2 to 2:59 or something, just to like spread it out a bit, because maybe I'm never available at 12 p.m. Doesn't matter what day.
Probably not 4 a.m.
Yeah, I mean that one's probably for Japanese and European.
Yeah.
And then I think 8 p.m. should be good for Japanese as well, and 12 p.m. should be good for Europe. So I think they just kind of tried to spread it out as good as possible, but I wish they maybe altered the times a little.
Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly, the original test fire, I think, was just 3 sessions.
Yeah, I think so.
Spread over like 2 days or something. Or maybe it was 3 days. So I'm glad it's more dense this time, but yeah, they could have maybe done a better job spreading it out. But regardless, I'm excited. It's a good incentive to, if you're a Splatoon fan, it's just another good reason to pick up the Switch at launch.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I kind of wish, and then I can't even participate in this.
Mm-hmm. Rip. It was so surreal thinking about this, because like I'm thinking, oh, we're gonna play this on Wii U. Oh, never mind. This is for the new system that's coming out in 2 weeks. So it's surreal to think that there will be a demo, and I'm very excited because that's one of my most anticipated Switch games. That was the first game that got me very excited in the presentation. I'll be sure to try it out in all of its various modes throughout, and I think I should be able to play all of those sessions, which should be pretty exciting. Yeah, hype. And moving on from that, we have a new Pokemon mobile app announcement. It's called Magikarp Splash. Do we know anything?
Oh, sorry, I typed it wrong. It's Splash Magikarp.
Oh, Splash Magikarp. Do we know anything about the gameplay or any other details?
It's releasing in spring on both iOS and Android. And there's one single picture that has like 2 Magikarp-shaped holes in a circle of dirt with, I guess, 2 fishermen or something. You just see their boots and their pants at the top of the screen. And that's it. Oh, nice. And it's being developed by Select Button Incorporated.
My favorite.
I don't know if they've been known for anything important.
I have no idea who they are. Cool, so that's good, I guess. More Magikarp. Never hurt anyone, right? We could always use more Magikarp in the world.
I hope it's like that Pokemon Stadium minigame where you have to tap Magikarp or tap the button to make Magikarp jump as many times as possible within a time limit. I hope it's just that.
Amazing. Just smashing your phone.
Quality game.
For the Pokemon mobile stuff, Pokemon Go got a pretty huge update, adding, I believe, all of the Generation 2 Pokemon, excluding like legendaries. I don't know if
no one's found Smeargle yet, from what I've seen. So he might be a case like Ditto, because I don't know how they'd work Sketch in, really, which is his only move.
So yeah, they they definitely introduced at least a majority of the Generation 2 Pokemon, and I believe in doing so also introduced genders, as well as some new cosmetic stuff for the player. So overall, a pretty huge update. It's definitely sparked a lot of talk online, so it'll perhaps give the game a bit of a shot in the arm. Although while it is winter, I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but it's not terribly cold where I am. So may get some people out in the chilly-ish weather. We'll have to wait and see. I've yet to fire the app up. Have you?
I uninstalled it and I didn't
nice.
reinstall it.
I'll probably check this out at some point this weekend. I think I'm going to go biking on Saturday, so I may bring it with me. Because Generation 2, Soul Silver was my first game, so I have the most nostalgia for Generation 2, so I'm sure it'll get me excited. You know, I don't really have much Gen 1 nostalgia, so even though they were kind of in that game. But
they also added gender differences. So, like, there's some Pokemon, like, I don't actually know. I'm going to quickly check if this is for all of them. Yeah, it appears to be for all. So, like, if your Pikachu is female, then it has the little heart tail instead of the standard one. Or if Wobbuffet's a female, it's wearing lipstick. I think Venusaur's seed is smaller if it's female.
Sorry, are genders also assigned to like your existing Pokemon, so like not just new ones? Okay, got it.
Cool. And Unknown has all 28 forms, so have fun catching them. Apparently, there's a special medal for collecting all 28.
Imagine people are freaking out over the new evolutions as well, right? I've heard people have already figured out the name exploit.
Yeah, those are also random, but I believe it's Sakura for Espeon, and I can't remember what Umbreon is. And they also added new clothing.
You can buy it with Pokecoins, is that true? Or whatever they're called? Okay.
Yeah,
I believe you couldn't do before. I believe previously you could only spend that on like game items.
Mm-hmm.
So
more money. There's some, I guess, pretty interesting things. I don't know. There's like hoodies for the 3 teams.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Actually, are they themed for teams, or do they just have? I think they might just have the. Oh no, those are definitely the team logos. There's also yellow, blue, and gray with Pikachu in the corner, and red, gray, and white with Charizard in the top. Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Some pretty, I guess, cool designs.
Yeah. I don't know why you would spend money because your avatar is not that important in that game.
Oh, there's 3D glasses.
Oh wow, amazing!
And they're the old one lens is blue, one lens is red.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy about this update, even though I haven't tried it yet. This was the update I think a lot of people were kind of expecting in December, but then it ended up just being like, here's 4 new Pokemon. So.
Oh, and there were also a couple other minor changes, like Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan candy is now Tyrogue candy, and I think there was something else. Oh yeah, if it's not really a change, but for Pokemon like Scyther that evolve into Scizor by trading with an item, I think it's like he holds a metal coat. Well, you need to get a metal coat from a Pokestop, and then you need that plus a certain amount of candy.
Okay,
and
that's interesting.
According to my brother's friend, Wooper takes 1 candy to evolve. So if you want a Quagsire, he's apparently real easy to get. You just need a single Wooper.
And for me personally, so one, I'm glad about this. I think I heard something from Niantic that now development is on the game. They're able to focus more on now that the game is like out where they want it to be, and servers are finally like stable and all that stuff. Personally, the next thing I would hope for would be trading.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long PvP will take. That seems like it would be pretty far off, but trading I feel like could realistically happen by summer. So here's hoping. That would get me back into it for sure. Trading is fun. And that's it for that. Moving on, we have a bunch of Switch stuff. Starting off, a couple of details on the 1-2 Switch board game mode. I believe it's called like Team Battle or something to that extent. Giant Bomb released a 1-hour gameplay video featuring, I think, Corey from Nintendo, where they played this game. And what it is, it's a team-based sort of board game. You can have anywhere from 2 to 20 players, and split evenly into 2 teams. And the way it works is you sort of have this simple board. It's not like a Mario Party board or anything. It's like a 2D top-down view, so it's more simple than that. And you have these game pieces, right? And each tile is a different one of the 1-2 Switch games. And so, you start with like a random game. Whoever wins gets to roll, and they'll move that number of spaces. There's a little spinner, and then when you land on that space, you'll play that game. And what's interesting is that after you've landed on a space and played that game, there's like a check mark. So let's say the person behind you, whoever rolls next, if they land on that space, they'll just move another space. So like you won't repeat a game. So that keeps it from getting, I guess, repetitive. So for me, this is cool. The thing that for me with 1-2 Switch, it didn't feel like there was a lot of structure. Like it felt very much kind of just like Just Dance, where like, oh, you have this menu of things, which kind of feels insubstantial.
Yeah.
Whereas with it paired like this, it feels like more of a game almost. So I don't know. For me, it's definitely a unique feature and one that would, at this point, I'm contemplating buying the game. Originally, I was pretty certain that I wasn't going to buy it, but now I'm considering it just due to the portability factor, the ability to really play with friends anywhere, because it seems like a great game for quick play. Just take it out and get milking. And this just makes that offer more enticing. So I'm personally very happy with it. I'm curious, as the press coverage continues, I'm curious if there are any other similar modes which, aren't just picking games, like a unique way to experience them in a certain order or something, like playlists or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of WarioWare, which is a good thing. So next up, the DLC. Well, the first DLC for main series Zelda game. So Triforce Heroes got some expansion DLC type stuff.
And Hyrule Warriors.
Oh, that as well. And so this is the first time it'll be in, I guess you could say, a main series single-player Zelda. And I forget what it's called, just like the Breath of the Wild expansion or something. What's interesting about it is that there are sort of 3 waves of it, but you can't get them separately. It's a one-time $20 purchase, made available on March 3rd. And upon purchasing, there's like a bonus where a few chests are unlocked in the Great Plateau, but that's not really the bulk of it. So there are 2, like I said, kind of waves. One I think is in summer, and so there is a new hard mode, some sort of new map feature, an elusive map feature, and some sort of Cave of Trials. People sounded a bit overwhelmed by this. The Cave of Trials presumably is similar to all the other similar caves in Zelda games where you're just going through fighting enemies like in like a gauntlet. Who knows, there could be more to it, but the name would certainly seem to suggest that. And the hard mode, I mean, we don't really know. Like, will it be like Master Quest where things are, flipped and it increases hearts? Some people have speculated that it may introduce new elements like possibly a hunger meter, more things to manage. We have no idea. It may increase the aggressive behavior of enemies. Again, this is all speculation. And as for the new map feature, I don't think anyone has any idea. It seems like a very strange thing to have as DLC, but who knows? Maybe it'll be something cool. Maybe feel kind of cheap. And then the second expansion will be much more substantial. There will be new story, a new dungeon, so presumably not a shrine, but like a full dungeon, as well as new challenges, whatever that means. There's been a very interesting response. Some have complained that it was revealed too early. So for me, I'm looking forward to buying it. I will be buying it, but I do agree that it was revealed a bit early, since the game isn't out yet. How do you feel about the timing of the announcement?
I agree it was too early because a lot of games right now have the issue of content being cut out and sold as DLC or pre-orders at GameStop or Best Buy or something.
Right.
So the game went gold 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, about that time, I recall.
And so I've seen some people say they're done the game, so they're starting work on DLC. But the problem is, for it to be announced, that means marketing has approved how they're announcing it, and I doubt marketing is a quick approval. Mm-hmm. It also means, hopefully, that they've planned out this DLC, not just wrote a quick list, because then who knows what's going to change.
Yeah. And hopefully they've had the expanded story in mind from the start.
Yeah, so that's kind of worrying to me that maybe they are cutting content out, and some of this is available at launch because the chests are there at launch, meaning they're on the disc, but you don't have access to them. So, I, I've and another thing, they would cut when they were originally trying to promote Amiibo as like this huge new thing. They were saying like they were supposed to be forward compatible and like work in of the upcoming Nintendo games.
Right.
But like hard mode in Twilight Princess HD was the Ganondorf amiibo. So
Yeah.
why seemingly does the Ganondorf amiibo not do hard mode in this game then?
And the Cave of Shadows was the Wolf-Link amiibo. Like,
Yeah.
again, it's part of the DLC. So it is very strange to see that shift. Maybe it almost feels like away from amiibo, but at the same time, we don't know what the figures do, like the Breath of the Wild series figures. You know, we know what the Zelda series figures do. They're kind of boring. They just give you items. Maybe these guys do something more substantial. We don't know. But it is kind of strange to see this after some different behavior with previous titles. I wonder if it has, you know, with Twilight Princess being a remake, maybe it's a different kind of scenario. I don't know, though. You know, it's hard to say for certain. Can't really speak about the development of that game much, but it kind of does feel strange, right?
Mm-hmm. And also, I have no doubt that like the dungeons, the new dungeon and story thing, haven't been started yet. Like they might have vague concepts, but I doubt they've started those. So I'm not saying I think like they cut out a portion of the game. I just think some of the stuff potentially could have been cut out. Like
right.
maybe these chests were things that would have been Easter eggs, but they decided to, because like one of them I think they said is a Switch T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
So that could have been some kind of Easter egg, but instead they cut it out and put it as a thanks for buying the DLC present.
I love how these Switch T-shirts also going to be in the Wii U version. Like, ooh, here's a new system you don't have.
They should have replaced it with a tombstone in the Wii U version.
Yeah, no chest. There's just a tombstone where the chest should be. Like, amazing.
I think because I think the negative reaction was mostly due to the fact the game's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Like, if they had announced this exact same stuff at E3 instead of now, I think it would have been a mostly positive reception.
I agree.
Because
especially so close to the game's launch.
Yeah, because Mario Kart 8's first wave of DLC was probably in the works before Mario Kart 8 launched. And we know for sure Mewtwo for Smash was in the works before Smash Wii U launched because he was announced before Smash Wii U launched. And he probably was at least planning stages before Smash 3DS launched. Mm. So I don't think it's necessarily the fact that they're working on DLC from the start or they're working on DLC before they're done with the full game because like the model designers have nothing to do when the game's being wrapped up and bug tested.
Right.
Like what? They can't make more models. That's just going to add bugs to the game that they're trying to debug.
Yeah, it's true. And interestingly, you mentioned Mario Kart because it's a similar plan where there are two, I guess, sort of sets as well as a bonus. The difference is with that, you could purchase them separately. Mm-hmm. And it was announced like half a year after the game came out. So definitely a very different timing situation. Ultimately, though, I think for some folks, myself included, the bright side of this is more content for Breath of the Wild, which, you know, if all goes well, should be a really good game. So especially if there's a new whole dungeon, you know, that's assuming it's the same as the other dungeons in the game, that's substantial content. Mm-hmm. You know, dungeons are one of people's favorite things about Zelda games, and there's never been, you know, a DLC dungeon. There's been, you know, Hyrule Warriors had like characters and maps, but there's really never been a formal DLC dungeon for Zelda. So it's definitely, I think, interesting. And I'm looking forward to it as a whole, but I really think the timing was kind of handled poorly. So I think that's it for that topic. And now we have a couple things about the Switch itself. First of all, the Switch dev kits, I guess, files were leaked. So sort of like these documents back when it was still codenamed NX, showing off many menus, features, that kind of thing. and it details things about like the settings, the screen capture function. There was a lot. I forget a lot of it. I know it sort of confirmed the themes, which people were thinking. And right off the bat, people were pretty confident that this was real. And this has been supported by a Switch in the wild. So we now know that, yes, the themes are real. Someone got a Switch early. The retailer supposedly shipped it to them early. And
before everyone worries, this appears to be an isolated incident, and he has no games, so
yeah,
there's going to be no spoilers from that.
Yeah, that would be worrisome if he had Breath of the Wild. But luckily, he just the system. Not luckily for him, because you can't really do much with it. But we have seen the menus, that kind of thing. It's much more snappy, quick than the Wii and 3DS. Connor pointed out there's great sound effects throughout. We got to see the unlock system. We got to see what the captures look like. We got to see the Mii Maker, which has no music. Rest in peace. Although there are more options, but we didn't get to see all of them. We got to see icons. Oh my god, I was so happy. Before it was sort of announced, I was hoping, oh, come on, I please hope there's Callie and Breath of the Wild Zelda, and they're both there. I didn't see Rosalina, but those two are there, and
Rest
that's
in peace, King Dedede.
Yeah, he was. Oh, how's he not there? Is Kirby there?
I don't think so. At least the pictures I saw of what I assume is all the icons didn't have any Kirby at all.
Did you see like that scrolling menu that scrolled up and down with like the icons, or just like the set of 10?
It wasn't a set of 10. It was, I think, 3 pictures.
Okay.
That I'm assuming was from that scrolly thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe that's like a thing with what are they called? HAL Laboratories or something. But yeah, we'll see. I do hope King Dedede makes it there eventually, because he's the best. So overall, definitely some interesting details. All positive stuff, no negatives. It also
there was some negatives. Some people were complaining about spoilers.
Oh wow, yeah, guys, we get to see that there is a black theme and a white theme. Ruined.
I'm really upset I didn't get to experience the thrill of searching for my wireless network and connecting to my wireless network.
So exciting.
Speaking
of wireless networks, one thing we haven't figured out is how it will handle networks which require a sign-in. I really hope it can do this, because 3DS couldn't, to my knowledge, except with like Nintendo Zones, I guess. But so the Switch apparently doesn't have a browser, but it has like a web applet. So here's hoping that when you try to sign into something which needs logging in, it can direct you to that applet. That would be awesome for the portability factor. But we don't know yet, because this thing can't connect to the internet yet, I guess, because it's technically not out.
And also, one last thing about the spoilers. People realize we're 2 weeks away now. At this point, both Sony and Microsoft had uploaded official unboxings and getting started tours of their consoles, right?
Mm-hmm. We have nothing.
Well, we have basically that now, except they weren't official.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we haven't even seen the eShop. Like, we haven't heard details about captures. Like, we don't even know what networks you can post captures to. We know presumably Facebook and Twitter, but it's just crazy how little we know 2 weeks out. There has been no indication of whether we're going to get a direct or anything like that offering system details, but I mean, I'm personally hoping for one, but at this point, like, you got to do it soon. You can't do it like a couple days before launch. I think it has to be like a week out. So who knows? Maybe we may hear something soon, but at this point, we know a lot of it already thanks to these leaks.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, it has also gone out. Well, I sort of touched on this earlier when talking about Giant Bomb and their 1-2 Switch play session, but units have gone out to some press outlets. I don't know if they've gone out to all outlets yet. So I think Eurogamer has one. I know IGN has one. Giant Bomb has one. And I haven't seen a ton of coverage yet. I don't know if that's I don't know what the restrictions are.
I'm not sure if the embargo, how strict it is right now. I think it's pretty strict though.
Yeah.
I think it lifts, not yet.
I heard there's a strange restriction where they can't post videos of them like taking it out of the box. So yeah, it sounds like Nintendo's being pretty tight with it. But I do hope we can see some videos of just the hardware. Like even if we're not seeing games in action, just comparing it to other hardware sizes and that kind of thing is always fun. So who
Nintendo
knows?
doesn't want videos of it being taken out of the box, even though there's already a video of it being taken out of the box.
I'm less than pleased about that.
That was posted before most press outlets received their Switch to record it being taken out of the box, even if they wanted it.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's it for that topic. Definitely some interesting stuff. And wow, we're gonna have a Switch launch episode pretty soon. But I'm not gonna be able to be on it because I'm gonna be away. Yeah.
I think we should just quickly mention Nintendo Unleashed spoiler policies. This is what we did with Pokemon, so I think it worked fine. No one seemed to complain. So we'll probably do this with like if Breath of the Wild leaks because the Wii U version can.
Yeah.
We won't give any story spoilers at all. With Pokemon, all we did was mention stuff was leaking, so if people wanted to, they could go find it. We also mentioned, we'll talk about magazine leaks and stuff though. So like if Koro or something happens to have a Zelda article and it leaks a few days early, then we'll talk about that. But we with Pokemon we talked about like when the Pokedex leaked. I think we kind of guessed what we thought some of the Pokemon based off their names and types might be, but we didn't like once they were confirmed. We never like used them in thumbnails or anything. So Blazekick's relatively Blazekick, I guess, in general, is going to be relatively spoiler free. There might be minor spoilers but we're not going to like, hey guys, the true final boss of Breath of the Wild is actually Zelda. We're not going to say something like that, and hopefully that's not true, or it seems like I just spoiled something.
That is guesswork.
At the point of this recording, nothing has been leaked about Breath of the Wild. So if that turns out true, that was a very unlucky prediction. So yeah, we're never gonna spoil something major. I will cut it out if we accidentally do it. I'm not even just gonna censor it. I will just flat out cut out that content. And we'll never put a spoilery thing in the thumbnail.
Yep.
And yeah.
I mean, I certainly hope things don't leak, not only for the sake of our listeners, but like, I'm gonna have to leave the internet. I'm gonna have to like put my phone in the garbage can for a week.
Well, I personally, from what I've seen of Pokemon games with their worldwide launches now, it's a lot easier to avoid leaks than it is that like 14, 15 hour period that Japan and Australia have it before us.
Right. Because
when stuff's leaked, it's removed from YouTube really quickly. So you're less likely to run into it. So really, Breath of the Wild spoilers, you're only gonna, and most Twitter people, like, it's really obvious who's gonna spoil because they do it. So you can, or just mute or unfollow or something. Like, I don't usually flat out spoil things. Like, I'm not going to post any Zelda spoilers if it leaks but once the games launch in Australia and Japan, then
you got to get out of there.
Yeah, Twitch and YouTube stop caring about removing things. So content, even people with leaked copies can upload the final boss like as soon as the game launches, basically. More people are more likely to run into stuff that don't care about spoilers and then post it to their Twitters or whatever. So I think the hardest, if you're trying to avoid spoilers, I would say just unsubscribe from like r/Wii U, r/Switch, r/Zelda. If there's a Breath of the Wild,
that's a good idea. Yeah,
I'd say unsubscribe from all of those if you're subscribed to any. Unfollow any Twitter accounts or mute them that you know will give spoilers. And for the most part, it's obvious who's going to do it because they have done it in the past.
Right.
And then for that final, basically from like 6 a.m. March 2nd, Eastern time, 6 a.m. March 2nd. I think that's the first midnight. That's when you can leave the internet because that's when it launches in Australia.
Yeah, and
that's it.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to wait. So it comes out Friday. I'm gonna have to wait till Sunday night to play it. So I'm gonna have quite the weekend ahead of me. But I'll be in Boston, so I'll be distracted. So I'll just keep my phone in the hotel room and no temptation.
So there's our tips on avoiding leaks without having to get off the internet. Also, obviously, don't go on like Zelda websites.
Oh God, or just avoid YouTube completely. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube should be okay.
Well, usually you might see like spoilery thumbnails and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think usually they try to silhouette them because Nintendo will take them down if they don't, because they're trying. It's kind of a hard line they're walking. I don't really want to give them any credit, but of trying to get people into the video that want it, but not notify Nintendo. That's what it is. So I feel, for the most part, I have seen Pokemon leaks in thumbnails, but usually that's if you're watching Pokemon videos, you'll get that. So if you stop watching Zelda videos now and like clear your history, you shouldn't get like clear your YouTube history, not your browser history. Right. You shouldn't get Breath of the Wild spoilers.
That's a good point.
We're just talking about Breath of the Wild because that's really the only game that could get spoiled and the only one people care about. I doubt anyone's...
Dude, what about the 1-2 Switch final boss?
Yeah, I doubt anyone's on the edge of their seats like, I gotta know how Super Bomberman RNs.
You never know.
And anyway, unless someone gets a Switch and the game early, it's not like that's helpful, whereas the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild could leak, so...
Yeah, which would be very bad.
So there was Blazekick's leak avoiding tips.
There you have it, folks. We have a poll.
Yes, we have a poll. So we asked for your Joy-Con OTP quality. We were shipping Gray X Blue, Blue X Red, and Red X Gray. We only got 23 votes. Not that surprising. The winner was Blue X Red, which, I mean, that's pairing gray with either of the colors is kind of dumb, so I'm glad Blue X Red won, although I would personally vote Gray X Gray.
True, but that would be like pairing someone with themselves, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess clone pairing can be a thing.
Self-cest?
Oh, God. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I think it's a thing in manga. I don't know if any Western or anything out of Japan has ever done it. Yeah, so this week, if you're buying Breath of the Wild, will you be purchasing the expansion? Yes, no, or unsure? And that's pretty hype. So go read my LEGO Dimensions review. That's finally up. Yay. Hype. Go follow us on VidMe for all your vid.me hype. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for all your YouTube.com hype. For all your dank memes. I don't know. Subscribe on iTunes and Google Play if you want to listen to Nintendo Unleashed instead of, well, I mean, I guess unless you stare at the logo on the background, you're probably listening anyway. But if you want to listen, I think you can download them from there and listen without internet. So if you want to listen without internet, there you go. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Double31.
I'm at Dashy007.
Arms, who we all never didn't mention until now again, is at ArmsMXC. Blazekick is at BlazekickTweet. Nintendo Unleashed is at Nin Unleashed. Nintendo America is at Nintendo America. Visit
Guy
Blazekick.
Fieri. Hold on, what's Guy Fieri's handle? Is it just Guy Fieri? It's just Guy Fieri.
Perfect. Visit Blazekick.com for all your anime and Lego Dimensions needs. And yes, that is episode 106. I don't think we actually said the number. We usually say that, but I kind of just, I didn't mean for what ended up being the intro to be the intro. I was just kind of talking, and then it ended up being the intro.
Killing conventions, just like Aonuma.
Bye.